Okay, hi ladies and gentlemen, this is just me making a video of the system number, letter C. So if you look on 3, we have this third system right here, and I copied and pasted it onto slide number 6. So when I look at this guy right here, I say to myself, hey, those X's have the same values in front of them, right? But they're the same sign. So that means that I'm going to have to manipulate one of those equations by multiplying it by -1 to get this x, this 11, one of these 11x's to be a -11x. And I personally like to deal with smaller numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate this first equation here. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to enter it down, I'm going to write it, and I'm going to say multiply all the pieces by -1. And the way that you show that is by writing -1 and then in parentheses the whole equation that you're going to multiply. So you can think about this in 2 ways, really. So you can think about it as you're multiplying all of these pieces by -1, or if that's confusing for you, you can sort of just simplify it and say to yourself, I am going to change all of my signs attached to these terms, each of these terms, right? So when I multiply -1 times 11, that's going to get me, instead of a positive 11, it's going to get me a -11x, okay? Then if I multiply a -1 times a -5, negative times a negative gets me a positive 5y. And it's going to be equal to -1 times 2. Negative times a positive is a -2. Okay, so this blue equation here is my new manipulated, simplified, or not really simplified, equivalent equation. Okay, so now if I take this second equation here, I'm going to add these 2 equations together. So I'm doing the elimination. So I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to change it to blue just so that it's all sort of together. And I'm going to add the 2 equations together. Okay. And when I do that, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to cancel out these x's because 11x plus a positive 11x is going to get me a 0x, which is just canceled out. Then from there, I'm going to add my y's together. I have a 5y and a -4y, so I'm left with just a y. Oh, let me fix this underline, sorry. Y is equal to -2 plus -9. 9 plus 2 is 11, -11. Okay, so y is equal to -11. So I got that y is equal to -11. Next piece, I need to calculate one of my x value now. So I'm going to pick one of my equations. Once again, all 3 of these equations will work. I'm just picking sort of the simplest one. And I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm going to then substitute in my y value. So I'm going to actually change this to blue because I want to do that. So I'm going to say 11x. I'm going to substitute this -11 in for my y. So it's going to be -4 times -11. Okay, is equal to -9. Okay, so now I need to distribute here. I'm going to be left with 11. I'm going to be left with 11x, -4, or -5, sorry, -5. This was -5. Miss Shireen copied this wrong. I'm sorry, guys. -5. Oh, no, I did it right. Okay, so -9. So I actually ended up picking the second equation. I'm sorry, guys. I know I said I picked the first. So when I multiply -4 times -11, I get 4 times 11 is 44. Negative times negative is a positive. 44 is equal to -9. Okay. I need to isolate or get my x by itself. Let me just make this spacing. Okay, so I need to get this x by itself. So to each side, I'm going to subtract 44, subtract 44. Okay, so I'm going to be left with, this is canceled out, we're left with 11x is equal to -9 minus 44. So that's like saying 9 plus 44 is 53, -53. Okay. So I have this -53. To isolate, get my x by itself, I'm going to divide by 11. Divide by 11. I'm going to underline to indicate division. And I'm going to be left with x is equal to 53 divided by 11 is going to get me 4.82. Okay, so I have an x of 4.82 and a y of -11. I'm going to test this guy out by copying these guys into Desmos and creating a graph. I'm going to copy that equation, paste it in. Okay, I'm going to copy my second equation. Remember, you click this little 2, paste it in. You're going to have to zoom it out to find that intersection point. Zoom it in. There we go. Look at that. Print screen. Insert my picture of my graph in here. Oh, Miss Shameen made a mistake. She just found a mistake. Look at that. I have this graph here. I made a mistake, guys. -53 divided by 11 is going to get me a -4.82. If I look at my graph, they match my points. Check. Fantastic job. Awesome job, guys. I know this guy was a little bit hard, but you guys did great with it. Reach out if you have any questions. Bye, guys.